Hey YouTube, Kira Twig here, bringing you all an update to my Penguin Yu-Gi-Oh deck profile for post-Phantom Rage. Wanted to do this Penguin deck as the first deck for all the updates from the Phantom Rage TCG release. It's a really awesome deck. The Penguin deck actually got a new Synchro monster in this booster set to actually help further support the pure Penguin build, which is basically just revolving around the different flip effects you can use with your different Penguin monsters. I really do love the playstyle of the deck now, being able to focus on that Synchro Summon consistently for all of your setup in the deck, and along with a few cards we received from the Rise of the Duelist booster set, makes for a very scary water attribute deck. So let's go ahead and get started with the deck profile. So for the monsters, for our first of the Penguin monsters, I'm running 3 Penguin Soldier. With its flip effect, you can target up to 2 monsters on the field, return those targets to the hand, so you're not even limited to your opponent's monsters. With this card, you can even return your own monsters to your hand. Let's say you prefer them to be in your hand, much safer than them being destroyed by your opponent. Or if you just need resources to use again next turn, Penguin Soldier is a great setup for this card on the field, and also one of the best setups to use with Penguin Brave in the extra deck. And I also run 3 of the Nightmare Penguin. When this card is flipped face up, return 1 card on your opponent's field to the hand, and as long as this card remains face up on the field, increase the attack of all water monsters on your side of the field by 200 points. So the more Nightmare Penguins you have, the better with this setup. With Penguin Brave, it's very situational depending on which Penguin I want to summon out. I can usually go for the Penguin Soldier if I need more, monsters bounce on the field. But Nightmare Penguin with the defense setup makes for a good wall to sit on, but also being able to boost up the power of all my Penguins on the field makes it that much better. For the fact that Penguin Brave definitely is one of my go-to extra deck monsters based solely on its attack points, comparing to the other Penguin monsters that I run in the deck, which, like I said, they don't have that great of attack points, but they still help with their own effects. But for the actual power boost, Nightmare Penguin, setting up multiples of these can set up a wall. And with some of our link monsters that we run in the extra deck, including Miss Starboy being to boost up water attribute monsters, makes it all the better also. And I also run 3 Note Penguin. With this card, during either player's turn, when an effect of a Penguin monster is activated, you can special summon this card from your graveyard. You can only use this effect of Note Penguin once per turn. If this card would be returned from the field to the hand by an effect of a Penguin card, banish it instead. So with this card set up on the field, if Penguin Soldier or Nightmare Penguin would resolve, you would banish the card instead of returning them to the hand, making it that much more scarier when going up against your opponent. Because then when you get rid of those banished resources, not only can they, not return them to summon them back onto the field again, it's not basically like the graveyard either. Being banished can be much more dangerous depending on the type of deck you go up against. It could, benefit depending on the type of deck, but in that case, if, the banish were to be more important, you would just use the return to hand effect instead. But no Penguin, for that easy special summon, makes it all the better after resources, also being able to special summon it back onto the field when most of the time you should be resolving a Penguin effect at least once per turn and special summoning this card back on the field to use also. And I also run 3 Puny Penguin. When this card is sent from the field to the graveyard after being flipped face up, target 1 Penguin monster in your graveyard except Puny Penguin. Special summon that target in face up attack position or face down defense position. So with this, you have the option for, once again, Penguin Soldier and Nightmare Penguin, your go-to cards, but the special summon power can apply to plenty of other Penguins we have in the deck, and you're also not limited for the Penguin that you would summon out onto the field. So you can also have the option of summoning out Penguin Brave if you already summon this card, and it's in the graveyard back on the field to use with Puny Penguin and its general setup. And the last of, actually, we're not even close to done with the Penguins here, but I'm still running the 3 Great Emperor Penguin as well. With this card, you contribute this card to special summon up to 2 Penguin monsters from your deck, except for the Great Emperor Penguin. So more setup with this card. That's what's great about it. It's not a once per turn either. So if you have the multiple Great Emperor Penguins to set up, you can get more and more cards out on the field. You can set up Note Penguin. You can also set up your Puny Penguin, having the graveyard set up then to go with Note Penguin and Puny Penguin, being able to go for your extra deck plays. Or you can get the 2 monsters to synchro summon your Penguin Brave, which is a level 6 synchro monster set up on the field with just this 1 monster also. And I also run probably one of the newest penguins aside from Penguin Brave, and that is Penguin Torpedo. This was actually used by the Big Five during their filler arc in the anime as one of his go-to ace penguin monsters. This card can attack directly. When it inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can target one level 6 or lower monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase, but its effects are negated. Also, it cannot declare an attack while you control it. You can only use this effect of Penguin Torpedo once per turn. At the end of the damage step, if this card attack, destroy this card. More bounce power, being able to return Penguin Brave to your hand to reuse, for the direct attack, are a big part of this card, but it is also a level 3 monster, making it so it can be used for the synchro play for our go-to synchro monster, since the tuner, which we'll be using for the play, is Glacial Beast Polar Penguin, a level 3 Aqua Tuner. In the deck, if it's special summon, you can target one monster your opponent controls, return it to the hand. If this card on the field is destroyed by battle or a card effect, you can target one card your opponent controls, return it to the hand. You can only use one Glacial Beast Polar Penguin effect per turn, and only once that turn. So it is a Glacial Beast, but also having the name Penguin in it makes it all the better, because then you can resolve all the other different Penguin effects we run in the deck with this card, being able to target any Penguin card with the Great Emperor Penguin, setting up Penguin Torpedo, and also Glacial Beast Polar Penguin. The level 3 monsters will be your main source for the synchro summoning in this deck, so making sure you have all those on the field ready to go are very important. But like I said, Polar Penguin is your only tuner in the deck, so you'll be relying on this card for your Penguin Brave synchro summons also. And lastly, to finish off the monsters, I'm really happy I was able to go with a pure Penguin build. The cards honestly run the most consistently together when you're just running the Penguin monsters. But lastly, to finish off the monsters, I run 3 Bolt Penguin. It is actually a Thunder monster and not an Aqua monster, but it's still a Water attribute monster. So aside from the fact that it doesn't work with some of the Aqua, revolve cards, it still is greatly consistent for the fact that it is a Water attribute card. So you can still use it to summon cards like Miss Starboy, and also to synchro summon out Penguin Brave if need be. But also the fact that it is an unexpected die target makes it all the better for sure to special summon out onto the field, not taking up our normal summon, and then being able to summon out the Great Emperor Penguin if we need to tribute summon for it also. And that is it for the monsters. We'll now move on to the spells. Still a big staple in the deck, and that is Book of Moon, running 3 of this in the deck for its consistency of being able to flip down any monsters on the field. So you can reset your Nightmare Penguin or Penguin Soldier after they've been flipped face up with this card. If you need to play defensively against your opponent, you can switch their monsters, as long as they're not link monsters, onto the field face down. Also a great spell to rely on. Like I said, I don't remember the last time I've used Book of Moon. The last time in a video was probably during the last Penguin update, but being able to have that consistency for your Penguin monsters and the play against your opponent make it a definite 3 of in the deck for sure. And also going off of the Water attribute, I run 3 Moray of Greed. Most of the time, if I have a couple Penguins in my hand, I should have the setup I need to go for a good amount of my plays. But sometimes that draw power, I just need to open up the Great Emperor Penguin in my hand for that setup. So being able to rely on Moray of Greed to shuffle cards back into the deck for consistency, make it all the better for sure. And for more special summoning from the graveyard, I am running 3 Surface. You target one level 3 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster in your graveyard, special summon it in face-up defense position. More resources after you send them to the graveyard with Penguin Brave. You're able to then summon out that monster for either another synchro summon with the extra deck not being limited to the extra monster zone anymore. We can get out plenty of different Penguin Brave onto the field to use for sure. So that's why I like to run 3 of this once that monster is special summoned out. And I also run the 2 Unexpected Die. This is for the Bolt Penguin special summon for that play. So once you have the Bolt Penguin set up on the field, it's either just summoning out another Penguin onto the field or tributing for the Great Emperor Penguin and setting up more and more on the field for our synchro plays. And for the 1-ofs, I run the 1 Monster Reborn and the 1 Foolish Burial. These are for setting up Note Penguin in the graveyard, since you have the option when an effect of a Penguin monster with Note Penguin and it's in the graveyard to special summon it back out to the field. And Monster Reborn, like Surface, just being more resources. You can't summon Bolt Penguin off of Surface, but you can off of Monster Reborn, and you can also summon the Great Emperor Penguin with Monster Reborn, and you're not limited to it having to be a normal summon or special summon monster. You can distribute this card and get more Penguins out on the field. And then for the traps, the only trap we're running is the newest one from the Rise of the Duelist booster set, and that is Junk Sleep. If your opponent normal or special summons a monster, you can change all face-down defense position monsters you control to face-up attack position, and during the end phase, you can change all monsters your opponent control to face-down defense position. You can only use each effect of Junk Sleep once per turn. So with this card set on the field, being able to just, set your Penguin Soldier, if you're anything your opponent can do, you can activate this before they even attack into Penguin Soldier, disrupting their monster plays with this trap card. And then also, if they were to go for a play or just, not as defensively, flip their monsters back face down, so then you can flip up your Penguin Soldier and then return those monsters to the hand and not have to worry about any monster effects, since they'll be face down on the field and won't be able to be resolved. And that is it for the main deck. We'll now move on to the extra deck. Our main go-to boss monster is Penguin Brave, the level 6 Synchro monster. You just need one tuner and one non-tuner to make this card. Your opponent cannot target face-down defense position monsters you control with card effects, and you can only use each of the following effects of Penguin Brave once per turn. If this card is Synchro Summon, you can special summon one Penguin monster from your deck in face-down defense position, and when your opponent activates a monster effect, quick effect, you can flip one face-down defense position water monster you control to face-up. So along with the Junk Sleep trap card, you have plenty of ways to flip up your monsters onto the field. And the fact that you're able to reset them with Book of Moon make it all the better, because then you can resolve the Junk Sleep first, activate Book of Moon, flipping back down the monster, and then having Penguin Brave on the field to flip the monster face up again means you can bounce more and more repeated monsters on your opponent's field back to their hand also. For the additional synchro, I run the one DeLorean Tiger King of the Ice Barrier. Once per turn, you can return any number of face-up cards your opponent controls to the hand. For each card returned to the hand, this card gains 500 attack. It's just a power boost, having more return to the hand off of this card also. Needing a water monster, which can easily be accomplished, and the fact that the level 6 synchro is the easiest one to go for is why I decided to run this card in the deck. For the Link monsters, I run two Miss Starboy. With this one, you just need two water monsters. The power boost for all your different water monsters you run in the deck, especially when combined with Penguin Brave and Nightmare Penguin, you can have this card hitting for some pretty high numbers, and the recycle power with Miss Starboy makes it all the better for sure, being able to add penguins back to your hand to resummon onto the field again next turn. I also run one Area the Water Charmer and one Marine Cess Coral Anemone for the water consistency, either special summoning or just making use of my opponent's resources in their graveyard as well. For some more of the generic Link monsters, I run the one Nightmare Cerberus, the one Nightmare Phoenix, and the one Nightmare Unicorn. For more of the boss monster Link monsters, I do have the one Borreload. If you have Boral Sword, you can attempt that in the deck. Also, you get out a good number of monsters on the field. So if you don't want to go for the synchro play, which I always recommend, it's the main play style of the deck to summon out Penguin Brave. But sometimes you just need that Borreload or Boral Sword to go up against your opponent also. And for the Exceed monsters, you can run a good number of Exceed monsters in this deck. Also, I run one Dante Traveler of the Burning Abyss. Having two level 3 monsters, like I said, was easily accomplished, but being able to summon out Dante onto the field, detaching for this card, and then potentially milling other penguins into the graveyard make it all the better for sure as well. And lastly, with the Nightmare Penguin being a level 4 Aqua monster, you can also summon out your Bahamut Shark, which would then also let you summon out Totally Awesome to the field, giving you a more defensive negation against your opponent and their plays also. And as for the go-to plays in the deck, one of my favorite being with the Unexpected Die. When you activate this card, being able to special summon a level 4 lower normal monster from your deck, with the target being Bolt Penguin, you'll summon this card out, and having the Great Emperor Penguin in your hand. You're not limited to what you do with the Bolt Penguin on the field, so you can either have from your hand the Glacial Beast Polar Penguin be your normal summon, and then you would synchro into your Penguin Brave, which will then let you set up your Penguin Soldier on the field, letting you then have either the Penguin Brave flip for your Penguin Soldier, or even having the trap card if you open it up in your hand. But the go-to play to play defensively against your opponent for sure. But let's say you summon out the Bolt Penguin with your Unexpected Die and you tribute it for the Great Emperor Penguin. You can in turn use the Great Emperor Penguin to summon out your Polar Penguin, and also from your main deck the Note Penguin, then synchro summoning the two of them together into Penguin Brave as well. Using Penguin Brave for the same effect, being able to summon your Penguin Soldier face down. And then also with this card, remember your opponent cannot target them, so you're protecting the Penguin Soldier. And also with this card, while you control this effect, and when you activate the Penguin Brave special summon, you will have Note Penguin in the graveyard, which will resolve, activate, and special summon this card on the field. So when you use the flip next turn as well, you'll be able to banish the cards in your opponent's field instead of just returning them to the hand. But that is it for the deck profile. I hope you all enjoyed the video. This is, like I said, one of the most excited decks for one of the easiest cards to obtain in the set to build, the Penguin deck. And I hope you all enjoyed the video as well. Definitely going to be working on a lot more different decks from the Phantom Rage booster set, so look forward to it. But until next time, please don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. And Kira, Twig out.